I had a really successful quote unquote year in 2018 where I did a TED talk, met the Queen, I got on the Forbes list. It was all this stuff
amazing.
that a 20-something me wanted. And honestly, I'd never felt so empty. And I feel like it's the biggest taboo. And we hear this over and over again, that the people that have all the things are sat at home feeling a bit lost. And I feel like I'm happy to go there and sort of prod it with a stick and be like, what's going on? What do we want then from our lives?
I was away on holiday, and my friend Susie Ruffle, before I left, gave me your book, The Success Myth. And Susie, I think it's really changed her life. And I have to say, it was an absolutely brilliant read. The Success Myth, letting go of having it all. Before we go any further, tell the listeners what it's about for you.
Well, it's a bit of a post-pandemic book, I think, because after all of that happened, I felt like we couldn't go back to the way things were, and this sort of can of worms had been opened.
Yes.
And I feel like things weren't scratching the itch as much. You know, we kept piling stuff on and on and on and reevaluating our lives. But also the fact that I think we're in a time now where we're having a midlife crisis slightly earlier. You know, you'd be in your 50s, maybe 60s, where you thought, right, what am I doing? I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. And now I'm seeing it in people who are a lot younger, where the pace is so fast, or we're getting our goals done. And then we're like, this isn't actually, we're not where we wanted to be. Something's missing.
So, and certainly emotionally, I think that's true. And I think you're absolutely right about after the pandemic. I think we've barely addressed what a big change that was in all of our minds, of suddenly going from working frantically and the world just carrying on as it always seemed to suddenly going, no, stop, everyone stay indoors. And we had to just be for kind of 2 years.
And we were kind of told that our jobs weren't essential. So it's like, well, why are we burning out? And why are we miserable at work then if we're apparently not doing anything that essential? So I think, a lot of us are just thinking, right, okay, when we get to the end of our lives, what is success? And maybe it's not the traditional milestones that we're fed from a very, very early age.
Well, and I love the way that the book reframes the idea of success and kind of asks us to assess what we think of our own personal success is. And we were discussing it amongst the team. We've been talking about our successes of the day. I think exactly like you say, especially with the advent of social media, where we're all constantly out there, constantly comparing ourselves, and also open to criticism, open to feedback in a way that our parents' generation, my parents' generation, never had that sort of. They were just like, what are you talking? If I'd get upset about something online, they'd be like, what are you talking about? Get on, just have some dinner and watch the television like we do. And I think as a generation, we're still working out who we are, aren't we?
Totally. And even if you're someone that feels very rooted in what success means to you in the smaller ways, we still go online and we're still reminded of everyone else. And it's very confusing. We can just be taken out of our own path and think, oh, why am I not in the south of France? When actually you're probably having a lovely day. It's very confusing.
Absolutely.
The reason I wrote this book as well is it's from personal experience. So I had a really successful quote unquote year in 2018 where I did a TED talk, met the Queen, I got on the Forbes list. It was all this stuff
amazing.
that the 20-something me wanted. And honestly, I'd never felt so empty. And I feel like it's the biggest taboo. And we hear this over and over again, that the people that have all the things are sat at home feeling a bit lost. And I feel like I'm happy to go there and sort of prod it with a stick and be like, what's going on? What do we want then from our lives? But the other side of things was I've interviewed over 400 people now of Hollywood actors and Oscar-winning directors and Olympic gold medalists who afterwards feel depressed. And I just had all this data as well. So I like anecdotes, but I also like the hard facts of where we're at.
And it's very much rooted in that and research and science and, talking about kind of, the metrics of what people experience when they go through that. I mean, anecdotally as well, Jim Carrey has that famous clip of when he accepts this...
the Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes, sorry.
Yes.
And he goes, when I sleep at night, I know I am two-time Golden Globe winner, Jim Carrey. And, he's saying it ironically because obviously it doesn't change you. You think, when you get the award, then I'll be complete. Yeah. I suppose it says a lot about our relationship with ourselves. Do you think that's changed a lot, the way we see ourselves?
I think so. I think the illusion is sort of fading. And, we live in a capitalist world. We need money. We need all these things to live and survive. We can't just go and live on an island sipping mojitos, which, maybe some of us can. We have to live in the real world. But that doesn't mean that we can't be awake to actually what really makes us feel good and joyful. And we're in a society of add it on, get a bigger garden, get another dog, get another this. The mortgage crisis at the moment, it's like we're all quite trapped in the things we're meant to want.
Yeah.
It's like that quote that's like, we spend the money we don't have on the things we don't need to impress the people we don't like.
Yeah, so true. So true.
And I just want to kind of, put a spotlight on, take away some stuff. Like, what can you remove?